served as 3-year varsity letterman and 3-year starter for each of these teams. On the basketball court, Coach Smith earned all-conference and all-tournament honors as a senior. On the baseball team, Coach Smith was chosen for the all-conference teams all 3 years as he led the team in home runs and RBIs. And as a member of the Concord High football team, Smith played on both offensive and defensive lines, served as long snapper for punts, and Smith was kicker for PATs, field goals, and kickoffs. One other noteworthy honor that Coach Smith received in 1971 is being chosen as one of the best 100 players in North Carolina. By virtue of this success in the classroom and the Spider football field, Coach Smith earned a football scholarship to the University of South Carolina in 1972. During his 4 years at South Carolina, Smith played defensive line his freshman season, then moved to the offensive line where he started and lettered his last 3 football seasons at South Carolina. In spring of 1976, Coach Smith earned a Bachelor of Science degree in education from the University of South Carolina, and in 2007, over 30 years later, was named by the sports writers in Columbia as one of the 100 best players to play at the University of South Carolina. Quite an honor, Coach Smith. We're going to give you a few of his professional achievements attained as a coach at Concord High School as head coach. He was Cabarrus County Coach of the Year 7 times, South Piedmont Coach of the Year 8 times, and also in 2008, Coach Smith was chosen as the Carolina Panthers Coach of the Week. As an educator, Smith worked 35 years, 4 years in Florida, then 31 years for the Cabarrus County school system. Coach Smith received a plethora of personal achievements as a member of the Concord High staff and as head coach of the Spider football team. We'll mention several of these. In 1981, he was Educator of the Year, chosen Educator of the Year by the Concord JC's organization. In 1984, the CHS yearbook was dedicated to Coach Smith. In 1990, Coach Smith was selected to be an assistant coach for the East-West All-Star game in Greensboro. And in 1994, he was elected to the North Carolina Coaches Association Board of Directors. In 1997, he was assistant coach for the North Carolina-South Carolina Shrine Ball team. In 1998, he was elected president of the North Carolina Football Coaches Association. In 2005 and 2007, Coach Smith was presented keys to the city of Concord by the mayor and city council. According to Coach Smith, in 2005, the key was to the front door, and in 2007, the key was to the back door. In 2006, Coach Smith was selected as the North Carolina representative to the NFL Youth Summit in Canton, Ohio. And in 2012, Coach Smith was elected to the Cabarrus County Athletic Hall of Fame. In 2013, Coach Smith now is a master trainer for the USA Today's Heads Up football program. 2014, he was named Regional Master Trainer for the USA football program. For 29 years, Coach E.Z. Smith served as head coach at Concord High School. During his time, the Spider football team accomplished the following: 254 wins, 100 losses, and 1 tie, 23 years in the state 3A playoffs, 9 conference championships, 14 district championships, 6 sectional championships, 2 Western Regional championships, and 2 state 3A football championships in 2004. And one of the other proud moments that Coach Smith has, over 100 of his former students have signed letters of intent to play in college during his tenure. At this time, I'll turn the mic over to Concord High Principal, Carla Black.
I'm only going to be brief, but I want to first of all thank the Cabarrus County School Board, Mr. Rob Walters here on their behalf, our athletic director for Cabarrus County, Mr. Brian Tyson, Dr. Shepard in his absence, and Glenn Padgett, the head coach of Concord High School today, for leading the way and naming the field after a man that's given so much to so many. I thank you, Coach Smith, on behalf of your former students. I thank you, Coach Smith, on behalf of one of your former cheerleaders who was in awe of you every night. Thank you for the memories. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the man that you are on and off the field. We salute you tonight.
Y'all know it's dangerous when I get a microphone. I promise we won't be long. I would go remiss without first of all, come here, precious. She's like Audrey Lee, she can sing the fight song too. The pop song. I would be remiss without saying, first of all, thank you to Carla, our leader here at Concord High School, our principal. What a wonderful job she does day in and day out with our students and our student athletes. I thank Glenn Padgett, our head football coach, for recommending me before the school board. Glenn was an assistant with me for 11 years and now leads one of the best football programs in the state of North Carolina. And I cannot think of a better person to lead our boys and girls every Friday night and every day that he works. I'd like to thank Dr. Shepard and our school board, the members that are present and not here, for recommending me and allowing this to take place. It's such an honor and a privilege. I'd like to thank the Bailey family. I was with Miss Bailey today and I told her I'm not going to let this happen unless I have your blessing. I thank Anna Bailey, I thank Ann and Patty and John and David for their support of me. I'd like to thank all of my former coaches, everybody that stood beside me on this sideline. Many of them came, there have been hundreds of them, and my athletic trainers that kept the boys healthy. I'd like to thank my players. Without them, none of this would have been possible. We would not have won football games and we wouldn't be out here tonight celebrating what I consider one of the greatest honors I've ever received. I'd like to thank my cheerleaders. I'd like to thank the girls that made the posters, brought the popsicles, and did the things for me and our boys to make us feel we were the most special guys in the world. I'd like to thank our band, and for the years that our band has been supportive of a football program, and every Friday our band is here. I'd like to thank our student body and for them coming out and having a student section and coming and cheering for our guys. And I can't think of a greater student body than the students at Concord High School. I'd like for you to meet my family very quickly. Most of you know them. First of all, my mother, Sarah, who never missed a game that I was at as a player or a coach, and how wonderful and supportive she's been for me. I would go also remiss without saying how much I miss my dad. My dad would have loved to have been here and seen his baby boy tonight. But I miss my dad every day, and I tried to exemplify what he told me to stand for. And that was honesty and hard work and discipline. My sister Cindy and her husband David have been with me all through the battles of my life. And then I go to the person that's been with me for the past 41 years. Y'all know her because she sat right there in row K in the reserve seat section and kept yelling, "Coach, why are you running that play? Run the quarterback sneak. You got the greatest quarterbacks in the world." And you know me, I'm going to run that bootleg. Marty knows that. Marty knows Glenn's going to run it sometime tonight too. But I love Pat, and she's been my biggest supporter and been there for me every day. My two children, my princess, Audrey Lee, who I think is one of the greatest athletes that's ever been at this school, and who's always been there to defend her daddy and everything she's done. Her husband, Ladd, my two grandchildren, Lily and Ladd. Lily couldn't be here tonight, but the princess in training, Devin Grace. She's a little duchess. And then to the greatest football player I ever coached, and the finest son that I would ever want to have, my son Z, who was beside me for 4 years and played his heart out every night, not only for Concord High School, but for his dad and his wife, Jana, and my two grandsons, EZ the fifth, who now becomes Z. Z becomes Easy, and I'm Pops. And Knox Jackson, our two grandsons. I'd like to thank Coach Bill Ford for being here tonight, Charlie Reimer and Roy Davis for allowing me to be the head football coach at Concord. I'd like to thank the media, news, television, and all the people that have covered me and allowed me to say thank you for covering Concord football every time we finished. And last and most importantly, I thank you, the fans. Starting in 1969, When I walked down that hill and we warmed up on this end of the field against Salisbury Boyden High School, as an athlete, I knew what it meant to be a Concord Spider. I didn't dream of coming back. And then 35 years ago, Charlie Romer called me and said, "Coach, we need you to come home. It's time to come home." And starting in September of 1980, I had the greatest ride of my life. I can never repay you for your support and love for me and my family. And tonight, the fact that this field will be named after me, I will always hold you in honor and bless you. Thank you for being my fans. Thank you for letting me be your friend and your coach. Now let's get out here and get this game started. Thank you very much.